This is Jalen Hart, a senior out of Houston, Texas, with the ball.
You're going to see a lot of dribble drive attacking off the bounce by UIW. Want to get out in transition as well. Shoot it a decent amount from the three-point line, but they don't have any true knockdown three-point shooters.
Here's Hart into the corner. Johnson for three is off. Kispert the rebound, outlet Perkins. Here's Melson. Jonathan Williams first touch. Goes right inside and scores with the left hand. Devin Wine had no chance.
Oh, he had no chance. Great spacing there, but even more importantly, great patience by Jonathan Williams on the low block.
I talked to Donnie Daniels before the game. He said that's going to be the game plan early. Let's get the ball inside to Williams. We want to force the double team if we can. If not, he can go to work.
12 on the shot clock. Johnson with the ball into the corner. There's Simi Sox driving on Tilly. Created a little space, hung in the air, and dropped it in. Tied it two.
Sox is going to put it on the deck and attack you. Averages over 10 free throw attempts a game.
Jonathan Williams. Just keep feeding him, Dan Dickau.
Hey, he's got it rolling like that. Try to get it to him on the block from a wing. That time to a high-low action off pick and rolls. However you need to get him the ball, he must get touches early in this game.
Sox to Johnson. Jalen Hart working on Perkins into the paint. Not a good pass to Johnson. Melson tipped it away. Johnson heaves it off the front of the rim. Tilly the rebound. 4-2 lead in the ball. The Zags have hit their first two shots. Thanks to Jonathan Williams inside. Here's Tilly from the corner three.
Tell you what, he has mastered that corner three, Dan. That is really his spot on the three-point line. Typically, you see a big, more comfortable at the top of the key. He really searches out those corners. Does an excellent job of getting that shot off.
And Kispert and Hervey get tangled up on that drive, and the foul called. And it's on Kispert. That's the first of the game. This Cardinal basketball team, Dan and Richard, they're going to play aggressive. They've been aggressive with the ball to begin. They're going to look to score hard, fast.
Well, they want to push it in transition, as I mentioned earlier, but then if they don't get anything good, they're going to space the floor, pick and rolls at all different angles, and really try to get in the paint.
6 on the shot clock. Sox going to work against Perkins, in and out. Williams the rebound.
It's a nice look, though. You move the ball, you get the mismatch inside, force Perkins to guard the low block, just can't get the bucket.
And Melson left open at the top. Silas had a good tournament in Portland.
Yeah, he struggled offensively, only 4 of 19 from the three-point line, but you saw what he could do defensively. He handled the ball for stretches at the point guard position as Sox misses the long three. But really, his defensive effort, he's remarkable. He's really become one of the premier defenders on the perimeter in the country.
Melson, lob to Jonathan. J3 up and under and scoring.
And I tell you what, he is becoming more and more comfortable with that right hand. He was so left-hand dominant last year, and you really saw it against Portland. He went to that right hand 3 or 4 times on the low block right there. Uses the rim, gets it off with the right hand.
Tipped out. Here's Ennie. That's a 3. And it rimmed out. Williams another rebound. I'm trying to think if Gonzaga's had a better offensive option with his back to the basket than Jonathan Williams, maybe since Batista.
I mean, there's been quite a few that have come through. Kelly Olynyk comes to mind.
He wasn't purely back to the basket, though. Like Kelly would shoot it from outside and drive it.
Jonathan will also play off the elbow and attack you off the bounce as well. But I do agree, he's started off the season incredibly well, posting it and finishing.
And that pass from Williams as well.
But both Tilly and Williams have that in their game. Get the rebound, loose ball, and initiate that fast break. We saw Tilly earlier in the half. And they're right there. Not only does Williams brings it up, but delivers a nice pass over the top for the easy 2 points for Josh Perkins. Nice start for GU, up 12. We'll be out here after the break.
Trivia question, who led the Zags in scoring during the BK80 Invitational? Was it Jonathan, Josh, Rui, or Silas? Text your answer to 27297.
You're paying attention at the open,
yeah.
you know that, you know?
I think I was the tutor.
That answer has already flown out over the airways, never to be heard again. Until we give you the answer in the Arby's trivia question answer. And it's going to be Gonzaga ball. And it's number 12, Augustine Eni, stepped on that end line. But you guys, obviously there were better stretch four scores. Wilcher comes to mind, Olynyk comes to mind, but a pure back-to-the-basket scorer, I don't know.
Well, he's extremely versatile. He
I
can
agree
score.
with that.
I think he's got good, not great footwork. I look at him more as a step-out forward where he can use his quickness and his advantage on the perimeter against other fours, and the fact that he's left-handed as well is difficult to guard. I mean, most lefties have that intrinsic advantage.
I'm trying to throw the guy great props. There's the bucket inside, and Mr. Rui Hachimura's in the game.
Hey, he's picking up right where he left off against Texas the other night.
And
career
speaking
high,
of stretching it out.
Speaking of a guy starting to put it all together, it still has a long way to go before he even scratches what he can do on the floors. Williams comes in for the rebound. Rui, really, his coming out party on a national level against Texas was tremendous. And they really needed him to step up with foul trouble, given the matchup. His versatility was on full display.
They did, and I think the reason you saw him get a little bit more extended minutes is defensively, he's picking up rotations a little bit quicker than he was early in this season, and for sure last year.
Zach Norvell on the floor for GU as well. Nelson has it taken away and is tied up. It'll be Gonzaga basketball. But good defense by Augustine Eni as Silas had got in deep with 2 on the shot clock. Zach Norvell, guys, a guy that came out of Chicago, highly touted, redshirt year a year ago. Slow start, but the offense is coming, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could say it's a slow start, but still, if you look at the numbers, he's still averaging 7 points a game. You know, in Portland, he struggled. As Josh hits the difficult 3 at the end of the shot clock there on the inbounds play, but he's learning a new role. In high school at Simeon, he was able to kind of get whatever shot he wanted. Now, you know, he comes in off the bench, he's got to guard, he's got to make plays for others, but you don't want to take away his strength, and that's just flat out scoring.
Yeah, he's been better defensively as Perkins tips the ball out of bounds. And as we take a look, I mean, this is, you know you got it going when you knock down this type of shot. I mean, that is as heavily contested as it comes. And still Josh finds a way to knock down. But back to Norvell, look, he's been better defensively than I thought than I expected. But more importantly, he's only 6 of 21 from the three-point line, but he's creating some offense for his teammates. 14 assists for 7 turnovers. So he's a bit more versatile than I think the staff thought he'd be this early.
Johnson put it on the floor, and there's a shot clock violation. Jakob Larson on the floor for GU. He's going to clog up the middle. The Zags have hit 8 of their first 9 shots, lead at 19-2.
Well, they've been very good offensively, but I think defensively they've really stood out because this is a difficult game. You play against great competition. Now you come home. You've probably never heard of UIW, and they're really giving it a great effort on the defensive end.
Hachimura can't handle that pass. Turnover number 1 for GU.
Well, I think it's the defensive end of the floor that's going to define the type of season this GU edition is going to have. I think this group can be very special on that end of the floor. They're different than they were last year with Collins and Karnowski, more of a traditional rim protection as the ball goes out of bounds and stays with UIW. But this year's group, while they don't have the size, they're much more versatile, can switch a lot more, and they still have some of that verticality, particularly on the perimeter when Rui plays the 3, and then both Tilly and Williams are excellent shot blockers in their own right.
Yeah, the bigs just flat out guard differently than Shemek and Zach Collins did a year ago. Those were 2 really good defensive bigs in different ways. Tilly and Perkins can get out, Tilly and Williams can get out and switch pick and rolls. They can guard different actions than the other 2 bigs from last year. And so you're right, gives them more versatility.
I think the challenge for Gonzaga will be if and when they come up against a dominant low block scorer, a guy with some good size who can force you to double team because you don't have that size outside of Larson to kind of go at a guy one-on-one.
Perkins to Larson, can't finish, got it back. Missed it, got it back by Simi Sox. Here's Hart in transition right at Perkins.
Wow, a lot of contact.
No whistle.
A lot of contact, but look at the quickness there by Hart, getting in the teeth of the defense.
Norvell back to Perkins. There's Hachimura, spin on the baseline. Norvell from the corner is good.
There we go. Get your rhythm shots, find open space. Really with the great find there. Baseline drive as an opposite weak side guy. Find that baseline drift. That time catch and shoot, knock down three.
Sam Burmeister, number 15 on the floor for the Cardinals. Larson almost had him pinned on the baseline. Burmeister drives at Larson, effected the shot, and then Jakob took it off the rim. Perkins. Foul called against UIW.
You know, Josh doesn't get free throws here, but you'd like to see that. He needs to find that balance. I keep talking about that. He's such a tremendous three-point shooter, but he just doesn't get to the line. And you know, if he can't get to the line, he still needs to start creating some foul pressure. You'd like to see him try to even out his game a bit with some dribble penetration from time to time. That was a nice take.
Hachimura going for the jam, and it falls anyways.
Great pocket pass there by Silas Melson, but a great read on the roll and catch to a finish by Rui.
Well, set a good screen, you're going to get open. Excellent pass, and you see the explosive finish. Looks like he lost it on the way up a bit, but you know, that's a play Rui that's a simple basketball play that Rui struggled with last year. That's the growth that you're seeing from him as a young player as he knocks down the free throw.
Gonzaga's hit 10 of their first 13 shots, 4 of 5 from behind three. It's an offensive juggernaut. Hart drives right at Nelson, almost took it away, but Hart's strong enough at 5'11" and 160 to score anyway.
Tell you what, Hart's a good player. Newcomer of the year last year in the Southland Conference, where he averaged about 17 a game. He's struggled so far this year, but tonight showing you what he can do.
Kispert short from the corner. And Hart again. Johnson, this is a deep three. Sean Johnson left wide open at the top, and he buries it.
Good job picking up the ball in transition defense, but not a good job matching up to the trailer.
Hachimura, jump shot from the free throw line.
Really starting to become comfortable finding that middle of the zone catch. Early in the season, he would quickly look opposite.
Right.
That time, do what you have to do when you catch it at the high post against the zone and be a threat. Look at the basket. You're open, let it fly.
Here's Devin Wyatt, now Hart. Oh, Silas Melson took a shot from Wyatt, who got the ball, went to the rim, and a foul is called. But Silas Melson took one right to the chin on this screen. When we see it, no, this is the Johnson three. 11:05 to play first half. Zags up big. Hachimura. Oh, Rui. Answer. Who led the Zags in scoring during the PK Invitational? It was, of course, Jonathan Williams. The answer was Zags won. He averaged 23.3 points a game and 64% from the field.
Unbelievable performance down there.
Crazy.
It might be the best game that I've ever been to as a fan to watch the game. I was lucky enough to go on Friday night, and the atmosphere was awesome. There were so many Zag fans there. Outcome wasn't quite what people wanted, but I think it's going to do wonders for this team as they move along during the season.
13 on the shot clock. Kispert with it. There's Silas Melson. I don't know if we got a shot of it, as Norvell lines up the three and missed it. But the shot that Melson just took to the chin here before the break is like a good left hook from Mike Tyson. I'm telling you.
I suspect he might have had a conversation with Jakob Larson about calling out screens. Oh, he took a good shot, no doubt.
Oh, Silas is tough, and there's a travel. And it'll be Zag basketball leading 27-10. 4 turnovers now for UIW.
Well, the graphic right there shows 1 for Gonzaga, and that was an emphasis leading into this game. UIW forces over 20 a game. They want to get up, climb up into you, pressure the ball, whether it's in zone or man. You got to be strong with the ball, make good, quick, strong decisions. Gonzaga's done that so far tonight.
Killian Tilly back on the floor. Jeremy Jones, our first look at him in this game, on the floor as well. Kispert drives, and the reverse is good. He's long enough to do that.
He's got good size for a freshman wing, showing a little bit more versatility than I quite frankly thought coming into the season. A little bit better ability to put the ball on the deck and finish around the rim.
And you know what's been impressive about Corey, in 182 minutes coming into tonight, only 4 turnovers. I mean, he plays like an upperclassman as we take a look. You know, he gets the pass in the corner, doesn't try to force up a 3, and you see not only the athleticism but the strength to finish through a little contact. He's just a very mature player at a young age.
The inbound by Johnson. I'm chuckling because we've had a lot of discussion about the word mature today from Richard.
The lack of, or?
And Williams a great rebound. Well, I just made the comment before the game that Richard is a father now, a father of twins, and as Kispert lines up the 3 and buries it, and we're starting to see kind of the fatherly Richard Fox emerge with terms like a more mature team. I could totally see him telling his kiddos that.
Already at 18 months.
Yes.
Yep. Can't start early enough.
Sox with the roll, and it's 32-12. Tilly at the elbow has it taken away. Jalen Hart has come to Spokane to play. Perkins went up in the air to contest him. The foul is called, and the senior out of Houston, Texas, will go to the free throw line for the Cardinals.
It's a nice response from Hart. There he goes right at Perkins. You know, rather than trying to avoid the block shot, it's exactly what you want to do, particularly as he's undersized. But it's a good bounce back. He struggled in their last game against Houston, only 15 minutes, did not score, had 5 turnovers. Some nice response from your senior point guard.
Dan, let me ask you this. I think the one thing that I heard in the offseason most from Zag fans was concern about Josh Perkins being the leader of this team and able to close out games, and could he make the right play at the right moment? I think he's starting to dispel those beliefs, isn't he?
I would agree with that. And I think the reason why is, as a freshman, he had some ups and downs. Last year, he was willing to take a back seat and allow Nigel Williams-Goss to kind of be the guy with the primary ball handling duties. He had some games last year where he struggled with turnovers, in particular national championship game to start the second half, but he has been rock solid for the most part this year, and as if almost on cue, knocks down the 3 from straight away.
Give me another point guard who's shooting better right now.
Oh, I couldn't name one for you.
Well, but it's interesting you say that because it's been Coach Few has worked on him all this season to get him to quit driving the ball so much. You're a world-class shooter. Shoot it.
Well, it becomes, what is your strength? Josh Perkins' strength is when your feet are set, let it fly from beyond the arc. He's gotten that message. He's starting to understand that message, and it's paying off.
Kispert missing the 3. A foul called inside on Jonathan Williams. And frankly, Richard, a lot of those turnovers we've seen in the past by Josh were him driving through the lane, either out of control or without a plan.
I think it's the latter. You know, not necessarily having a plan or having, you know, premeditated intent as he's making a play rather than just letting the play develop in front of him. He's got such great ability, as you see GU come with the defensive rebound. But, you know, for him, I think it's just consistency. You have incredible stretches where he's controlling the game, you know, not turning it over, and then all of a sudden it's a 3 or 4 minute stretch as Jones gets called for the charge, or he turns it over.
Offensive foul called on Gonzaga. Josh Perkins already with 8 points. He's 2 of 2 from behind the arc. Zags up big early. Time for tonight's Smiles of the Game, brought to you by Delta Dental. A healthy smile is a powerful thing. Find the easiest way to take care of yours at DeltaDentalWA.com with easy online tips to keep your and your smile strong all season long. Delta Dental of Washington, proud supporters of Healthy Smiles and your Gonzaga Bulldogs. Yeah, there we go. Everybody's happy in Zagville. Dan and Richard are even smiling a lot this game. It's kind of weird. I just think they're in the Christmas spirit. Love this time of year, the holidays.
Greg, I just want to say I think you're really calling a mature game, given the score.
Burmeister for 3 for the Cardinals.
That's scouting report defense. You know when he's comes into the game, he's looking to find that three-point line in any opportunity.
5 Zags have hit a 3 in this game. And Burmeister almost had a steal. Tilly into the corner. Williams will shoot the 3. That's short. Killian got it back. Kispert faked the 3, drive the rim. And free throws coming. Are you surprised at how good a shooting team this has been so far?
Not at all. Not at all. Because we've talked about Josh a minute ago about his ability to shoot the ball. Kispert had that reputation. He might have been the best high school shooter that I've seen coming into this season. And of course, we talk about that and they miss a free throw. But then you talk about Norvell and Melson. His numbers don't dictate it, but he is a good shooter as well. And then you've got the bigs on the perimeter like Tilly, who can stretch it out and shoot. But I mean, we take a look at the concourse level camera down, and there are a lot of open seats, unfortunately, from those students. It's pretty shocking to see, considering you've got the 15th ranked team in the country, and the students aren't showing up and showing out for this Gonzaga Bulldog basketball team.
Burmeister, here's Simi Sox. Hachimura rips it down and starts the break. I just don't know what are you doing in college on a night like this if you got a world-class basketball program and you're not at the game. Kudos to all those that are here. I mean, they get it, but somebody doesn't.
So, some of them would probably in the library studying.
Is that where you were, Richard?
If I wasn't at the gym, man, I tell you what, 100% academics all the time.
We were roommates my senior year, and yes, Richard was into the books, that's for sure.
Well, he's mature.
That's right.
Beyond his years. He looks 80. He's really like 60. Here's Hachimura.
Look at the way the ball moves.
5 on the clock, and Rui just buries it from deep.
I mean, Greg, look how the ball moves. This team, for as many questions as this ball club had coming into the year, and so many guys who really hadn't played, the ball just moves around so quickly. Guys are unselfish. The ball just doesn't stick anywhere.
And Sox rises up and hits the mid-range jump shot. Man, let me ask you this. Had Nigel come back to this team this year, is this a better Zag team with him, or would have had too much of the offense had to have gone through him?
It's a difficult question to answer as Jonathan Williams throws the turnover away, but Corey Kispert steps in front, takes the charge on Simi Sox. But, you know, I think it would be a much different looking basketball team, and the reason I don't think they would be any worse or any less as we take another look at the charge taken by Kispert there, but Nigel was very ball dominant, especially down the stretch of games. Nothing wrong with it at times, breaking out of offense, going to get the ball, wanting to be that guy, to be the playmaker, the decision maker. But you can't complain about it because it worked last year. It's a national title game.
Silas missing. Hachimura, what a great offensive board that was. He got it back, stays with it. And now the movement again, and Kispert a little long on that 3 attempt.
And just a great pass from Norvell. He had a good look, but passed it up and got an even better look for Kispert at the top of the key, unable to knock it down. But how about the effort from Rui on the glass tonight? Following up 9 rebounds against Texas with another great effort tonight.
Jalen Hart was blocked by the under part of the glass there. Hachimura thought about the 3, and now Jonathan fires away and missed it. Zags now 7 of 15 from behind that arc. And Johnson in transition missing the 3. Sox the rebound, left it short. And it's cleared by J3. Norvell Jr.
Zach showing a little frustration after that missed 3, but he passed down the first one, gave it to Rui. Rui gave it back. Zach took the right shot. You've got to, as a shooter, keep taking that one. It will start to drop.
Great pass, but even better interior defense inside by the Zags. Melson with the spin, the lob, Kispert. Did he twist an ankle? It was an awkward jump for Corey Kispert. 3:57 to play first half. Zags up big.
Today we're going to talk about trucks. Which of these truck brands do you...
And there are the Zags. 19 consecutive years now in the NCAA tournament. And Jesse Wade on the floor for GU number 10. Along with Jones, Perkins, Tilley, and Larson. Wade, a freshman out of Kaysville, Utah. He replaces Corey Kispert. I believe went right to the locker room.
Yeah, looks that way, Greg.
And traveling Christian Peavy. Here's where Kispert may have hurt himself, gentlemen.
Well, this is right before the break. Nelson throws it up, and you see kind of just a power outage right there. It looks like Kispert just didn't have any strength in the leg, but early in the first half, it looked like he took a knee to the calf or behind the knee. He toughed it out there, but it'll be interesting to see if he returns. You've got a couple big games coming up, and this game looks to be decided as Larson gets fouled on the post-up.
Yeah, the foul going against Simi Sox. And that's his second foul before the shot, so it'll be Perkins inbounding for Gonzaga with 3:27 to play here in the first half. Wade is a sharpshooter from Utah, but it's Perkins.
I mean, you mentioned Jesse Wade as a sharpshooter right now. Josh Perkins stays hot.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, 3 for 3 now from long range on the evening after going 14 of 23 at the PK80 in 3 games. Those numbers are mind-boggling.
Yeah, it's crazy the way he's shooting.
He's shooting like 55% on the year, and he's taken plenty of games. I mean, it's not as if it's unlimited attempts.
Perkins, who spent a lot of time in the offseason working on that body, as Larson in transition missed, but he'll shoot free throws. But Josh really worked on his conditioning in the offseason. If you look, he did. His body is a lot thinner than it was a year ago.
I would agree.
You know, and it's different. And so I know he knew how important this year was coming in now to his junior year. He worked really hard in the offseason.
Workload is different.
Yeah.
We touched on it a second ago about Nigel being the primary ball handler last season. Josh knew it was going to be on him. And so, you know, your observation would be correct if he knows he's going to have to log major minutes and be a ball handler throughout the most of the game.
You see what he's done year to date in the WCC league. Basically, the best three-point shooter in the league. I mean,
what's crazy to me is 53%. And he's 28th best in the country.
Yeah. Well, we're still small sample size, 7-8 games.
Well, he's taking 50 on the year, though. I mean,
but there's 28 better or 27 better in the country.
Well, you have to look at attempts, but it's not. What's remarkable about it, Dan, and you know this as a guard, he's not just a shooter. He's got to do all the primary ball handling. He really competes defensively, so it's on both ends of the floor. So to have the energy, as Hart gets past Tilley to get the easy layup, to have the energy and the stamina to continue to knock down these shots is impressive.
And then if you leave him open, he's got the ability to finish. Perkins now with 13. Jalen Hart leads the Cardinals with 8. Johnson inside. Can't hit it. Larson tried to clear the rebound, but he's fouled by Simi Sox. And that's Simi's 3rd personal foul. And number 7 on UIW. Jakob 2 points, perfect from the line in this game, 3 rebounds. You guys believe that Jakob's ahead of his development here at GU? He's been he's had an impact in this early season. Hey, time for your Alaska Air upcoming schedule. Enjoy low fares to amazing places. Alaska Airline flies, connecting Spokane to over 100 destinations, including Costa Rica and New York City. Book now at alaskaair.com. Of course, a game with Villanova looming.
Yeah, you got 2 Big East teams coming up. Creighton coming here, which is Hopefully the students show up for that one, because that's a huge game. 25 ranked top 25 on ESPN, but Villanova is going to be great.
The reason I brought up Villanova is that you could fly into New York to watch that game on Alaska.
That's right. That's right.
From the corner, and it rattles in by Jordan Kite out of San Antonio. But back to Larson. Gentlemen, are you liking what you're seeing out of the big fella?
Yeah, I am. And, you know, he didn't play a ton as he bobbles the nice pass from away. Didn't play a ton in the PK 80. That's a whole different level. But you see what he can do as Hart knocks down yet another tough layup. I think for Jakob, it's going to be matchup dependent. As he continues to get better throughout the year, he'll probably see some more consistent minutes against some of these better teams. But he clearly fits a need for GU, and he's going to have his moments.
Here's Wade with 15 on the shot clock. Perkins now with it. Larson tries to set the screen. Norvell drives, bounce pass. Larson, way to go!
Good strength and an excellent drop down pass there from Norvell.
That had some English, like one of Dan Dickow's wedge shots from 80 yards.
I wish I could hit a wedge close anymore.
Yeah, I'd just give it up there. Here's Kite, elbow jumper. Jones with the rebound. Under 30 to play first half. They could play for one. There's less than a second here between the two clocks. And we will have an interview with assistant coach Donnie Daniels coming up at halftime. Zag's really dominating in all facets of the game. Jones. Larson can't get it off.
And Perkins just went a little too late on that low confusion of when he wanted Larson to set the screen. You've got to get a shot up there if you're GU.
Yeah, I don't think they got that off in time, although it was a great attempt from Jalen Hart. 49-26 our score at the half. We'll wait for Donnie Daniels to get into position to talk to us. And Gonzaga 18 of 32 shooting, 8 of 17 from behind three. 24 rebounds to just 12 for the Cardinals. And Donnie's in position now. Coach, I'm wondering, besides that last...
Welcome back in. College Basketball Live, sitting here with a few ACC coaches. There's one first-time head coach in this group, David Padgett. When some assistants, most assistants get a head coaching job, it happens in April. You got yours in October. How would you assess the challenges of getting your team ready for the season in the preseason?
I don't know if we have enough time to talk about the challenges we've faced, but, you know, the good news about the team I inherited, we have a very good mix of older players who've played college basketball, seniors, juniors, even a sophomore in VJ King, and we have a very talented freshman class. Obviously, they're freshmen. There's a lot they need to learn and go through, and there's no easy way to get freshman experience except to let them go through it. But our older guys have been tremendous in trying to help the younger guys and get ready for the season. So just each practice, we're just trying to get better than we were the day before.
You had a little more lead time when you stepped over from an assistant to replacing John Calipari there at Memphis. What advice would you give him stepping in, although the time frame is a little bit different?
No, David's going to do a great job, and he's a basketball guy, and his dad was a really good coach as well too, and so he's going to do great. And you know, they're good. Their team's really good, and you know, following with Coach Pitino, and when I took over at Memphis, following Coach Calipari, it's just they're hard to do because the success that you're following in both guys. So you just do the best you can.
It was a primary head coaching job there at Memphis. You're just getting started. Mike, reflect on what it was. You're at the pinnacle now, the coaching in the ACC. Reflect to your first head coaching job when you slid into that chair and had that ownership. Maybe an overwhelming feeling. What was that like?
I think it was. I remember my first year at the University of Delaware in 1995. I wasn't very trusting of delegating. I tried to do everything and a little too much. I've learned to delegate more. But I think the biggest thing is you try to be yourself. You've worked for a guy. You've been with a head coach. I think to develop your own identity and be yourself, as soon as you can get confident doing that's going to be helpful.
Jim? What was that like?
My first head coaching job was at a Division II school called American International College in Springfield, Massachusetts. And Recruiting there was very, very difficult, but we spotted a young man I thought could really turn our program around. His name is Rick Carlisle, and we tried to recruit Rick Carlisle to a Division II school. 2 years later, I was the assistant at Virginia, and Rick called me. He was playing at the University of Maine, and he transferred to Virginia, helped us get to the Final Four, now has been in the NBA since 1984. So when you're looking at players and trying to build a program, you got to find good players. Rick was a good player. We just couldn't get him to AIC.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you are. You might be someplace soon that you can actually get him. Buzz, your first head coaching job, what was that like?
I remember it vividly. Very honored, grateful, bigger than any dream I'd ever had. Was very thankful that the University of New Orleans would hire me, and have felt that way every day over the last 11 years.
Brad?
Yeah, I was very blessed. I took over at UNC Wilmington, having been an assistant there for 8 years under a very good coach in Jerry Wainwright. So the program was in a great situation. We had good players coming back, a good foundation. We'd been to the tournament. And so really the ease of transition for me was much easier than most, in that I already knew the league, I knew the university, and Coach Wainwright had given me a ton of responsibility. So that really gave me a lot of confidence.
You mentioned getting to the NCAA tournament, and when you're at maybe a lower level or a mid-major school, it's getting to the tournament's a great accomplishment. When you're in the ACC, it's not just getting to the tournament, it's making a run. You could have a great year, maybe even win a championship in the league, but you don't get to the second weekend, and it's almost forgettable in some fans' eyes. How do you guys self-assess when it comes to success relative to the NCAA tournament, whether it's getting there or advancing deep?
Well, for me, I mean, I've tried to be better just about your own personal success and what you define it as. I think when my time at Memphis, I was really unhealthy mentally, and just because I lived and died by every single game, and so when I came to Georgia Tech, I tried to have a better perspective on things, and it's a work in progress. It's hard to get to the tournament. I mean, I thought we had a good year last year, and we finished 11th place in this league. And I mean, and we had 8 wins in the league. I don't know if we'll ever get 8 wins again in this league. I mean, it's hard to do. And so, if you just do the best you can, I've tried to be better about that and focusing on just doing the best you can and let the chips fall where they fall.
Now, as a player, obviously, you want to get as deep as you can. What about as a coach? He said when he started out, he didn't have a healthy perspective. You're just starting out. What's your perspective?
Well, I think at Louisville, it's just been long established that getting to the tournament per se isn't enough. I think making a deep run has come to be expected over the last 15, 16 years, and obviously we've had a lot of success. Now, I'm not going to put any pressure on myself or on my team to say, hey, we have to get to the Elite Eight or we have to get to the Final Four, because that's just not realistic. Everything we've been going through, me as a first-time head coach, that wouldn't be fair to anybody. So we're just trying to have as good of a season as we can have, win as many games as we can have, kind of just break up into 3 segments. You got non-conference, you've got conference, and then postseason. So just take it one segment at a time.
How does that change as you get deeper into your career? Because when we refer to you guys, it's how many Final Fours does he have? How many national championships?
Well, that dynamic happened a little bit this year for us. The 2 previous years we've been to the Elite Eight. We get knocked out in the second round by a very good West Virginia team, but we finished in the top 4 of the regular season and got to the championship game of the ACC tournament. And so I was trying to tell our guys that, we had a pretty good run, and even it was even harder trying to explain that to my fans, but maybe they finally got it at the end of the day.
What about you made a deep run with George Mason, now here at Miami?
Yeah, 20 years ago, I had an incredible opportunity to talk to the great John Wooden, who won 10 national championships. And he talked about one thing that you had to have to be successful as a coach. And he said you have to have balance. You have to have the understanding of what your expectations are, maybe very different than what anybody else is. And you just have to have that balance in your life, balance with your team, so that you're enjoying the journey. Not so much talking about, did you make the Final Four? So, and that's the way we've tried to approach it. We just want to be the best we can be every season we're competing.
Last thing, Buzz, it's validation, though, right? I mean, NCAA tournament, that's a thing you can sink your teeth into.
I think it just depends on what validation and who you're wanting the validation from. Not trying to be holier than thou. I like playing in the NCAA tournament because that means I have an extended period of time with our players each day. And so whether we win, whether we get there, I think that's for other people to judge. I think my responsibility as a leader is to help them grow to be the best people they can be, and if that means we play a couple extra games, maybe that time period helps them even more.
And Brad, you've had a taste of it there, Clemson.
Yeah, we haven't been in a while, and certainly something that we want to get back to. We talk a lot about, playing in March with a chance to advance. That's kind of a phrase we use to kind of keep our momentum going, and I think it's something that you put the NCAA tournament out there. It's not as easy at some programs. It's more of a challenge, and certainly you analyze each team and just try to get better working on that with that thought in mind for us.
Okay. Good perspective, guys. We'll wrap it up when we return. These guys have left quite a mark on their teams. What about the digital footprint, social media? Get into that for a few minutes now.
All right, let's start with your health.
Yeah.
You're 70, and a lot of people want to ask how much longer do you want to go?
Do you want to ask that?
Yeah, I'm going to ask that. I'm going to ask you, how much longer do you want to go?
Yeah, I didn't get my knee replaced to retire. Let's put it that way. So I'm 70 years old. I think I'm definitely younger at heart. I have the knowledge, though, of a 70-year-old who's coached for 42 years and has coached 11 years with the U.S. team. And I think that's a good combination, especially at a great school. I want to make a difference. I'm enthusiastic. Come on, Kyle, I got you.
Grayson Allen, when describing you, called you a friend.
Yeah.
Which is interesting for a 21-year-old to call a 70-year-old a friend.
Right.
How do you think you've been able to connect with players these days and change and be able to adapt?
Well, I think it's up to the teacher to adapt so that his or her teachings are accepted easier by their pupils. I've had to adapt a lot. Not values, work ethic, and all that, but how you communicate, how you dress, what jokes you tell, do you stay current?
Grayson Allen is a really good basketball player. He also appears to be a dirty basketball player.
Well, his reputation for this precedes him.
What gives you confidence that Grayson, if you have confidence, that Grayson has kind of gotten past the issues, the tripping issues?
Look, there's no, is it more tripping issues or what everyone made of a couple issues? I want Grayson to be Grayson. Grayson's, I think, as good a player as there is in the country. And I want him to be a leader, and I want him to not have a rear-view mirror.
How much did you worry about him last year, though, because of all the public outcry and the attention that he got? How much were you worried that he'd be able to handle it all?
You would have thought that there was a capital offense that had occurred. That's the attention, I think, that our program brings, the scrutiny, and you have to learn to live under that microscope. But he has had an opportunity to be in incredible situations where you don't play at the beginning of your freshman year. You are the hero of the national championship game. You're an All-American as a sophomore and you have an incident, and then that's unbelievably publicized. And then you have another situation, and then you're hurt the whole year. Holy mackerel. He's lived a lifetime in those 3 years, and I think it'll all end up really, really good.
How good can this team be? I mean, you have talent, you've got bigs. They're very different than a lot of your previous teams.
Yeah, our team is going to be very much a developing team. We have 3 guys in Marvin Bagley, Wendell Carter, and Marquise Bolden who are going to be pro players, maybe all 3 of them at the end of this year. We don't have the perimeter depth that we, like the last few years, but we have more big guys. And so we have to adjust what we do, and which we do every year.
Has your outlook of recruiting one that's changed? People think it has.
No. Everyone talks about us changing our recruiting philosophy. That's not the case. It's just that Grant Hill was in the mid-'90s or early '90s. If Grant Hill was today, he'd go too. But we would have still recruited Grant Hill. Leitner and Battier, and that's when it started for us with Elton Brand, but he was even here 2 years. I have not changed. The landscape has changed to where it would be the best decision for them to go, and then I'm okay with that.
you against the paw.
Greg Heinster, Dan Dickow, Richard Fox. Cardinals now going to work on a Zag defense that held them to 33% shooting in the first half. 12 on the shot clock. Hart got inside. Nice finish. 2 more for him. He's got 12 on the game.
He's been impressive tonight, using his quickness to get in the paint. He's also a good finisher.
Back come the Zags, or back come the Cardinals. Hart again. And Melson with the rebound. Norvell. It's funny how I see a lot of young players in their careers make plays like that, Dan, and then it seems like 12 months later they got to figure it out, and Norvell will dunk that ball.
Yeah, it looked like it was premeditated what he wanted to do. He was setting it up for a Euro step. The defense stayed in front just enough, and then he kind of stumbled and lost his balance, but you're right.
And the turnover, and we should point out that Norvell started the second half. Kispert has not come out of the locker room for Gonzaga. We can't read a lot into that. Obviously, he may have twinged something. It may just be precautionary at this point with the game that's in hand. Here's Tilly, skipping to the corner. Perkins, another 3. Josh can't miss.
You give him an open look with his feet set, and you can almost just start running back to the other end of the court. Get ready to play some defense. It's been impressive how he's shooting this basketball.
And good-looking bucket there for Simi Sox.
And both Sox and Hart have competed here. You know, obviously, it's been a tough night for the UIW. Both those kids have really done well.
And Williams is fouled. And Jonathan, 6 points in this game. His first free throw's coming. But 7 rebounds and 3 assists.
Well, that's the thing that really jumps out at you with both Tilly and Williams is their versatility. You know, both of them have, as Williams misses the free throw, both of them have areas of their game where they really excel, but they can both bring it up the floor, they can stretch it out, and they're both, for the most part, pretty good with the ball. They really struggled against Texas. Both, I believe, had 6 turnovers. That's pretty uncommon for them. Typically, you can run the offense through them as Williams knocks down the second, and they make good decisions with the ball when they have it.
Well, that Texas front court, I mean, that's a pretty good front court. Mo Bamba, not a great scorer, but a 7, 8 wingspan, I think is what it is. And then Ositkowski, I mean, he's an experienced player as well.
And Hervey is fouled inside. That last foul, by the way, was number 4 on Simi Sox. And Norvell Jr. getting the foul there. That is his second, and the first on GU this half. Perkins ahead to Norvell. Zach delayed.
Great pass over the top. All Norvell had to do was catch and finish.
Great interior defense by the Zags. They take it away. Perkins up to Norvell. He's got Melson. Silas going for the jam. He's met there by Johnson and Hervey, and a foul called against UIW. This team, guys, is really fun when it's out in transition. Like it knows how to push the ball. Great passing, and of course you've got finishers like Perkins and Melson.
Just a very unselfish group. Make the right play consistently. As Melson knocks down the first free throw. Let's take a look at Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Perkins over the top to Zach Norvell for the easy finish in transition. Order Jimmy John's sandwiches. Sandwich delivery today. Jimmy John's were fast and fresh meats. I need to work on my read there, Greg. Sorry about that.
Oh, Richard, you know, it's all about getting better.
Just gets excited thinking about a sandwich.
A year ago, it was rough. I mean, I think I've seen a lot of progress.
As you say, I've matured a bit. Huh?
Yeah,
thank you.
It's been great maturity. Hart inside right at Tilly and scored. Boy, in contact from Perkins, and Tilly stared him down. And
you've got to be thrilled if you're UIW with Hart's response. It's over the top. Tilly flushes the alley-oop from Zach Norvell. Wow.
Zags have hit 3 of their first 4 shots. And Perkins take it away. This is getting too easy. Another lob. Williams can't finish, but it's cleaned up. Melson takes the charge against Christian Peavy.
Greg, let me do it again.
All right.
Let's take a look at the new Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Norvell off the little rough screen over the top to Killian Tilly with the tough finish. Folks, order Jimmy John's sandwich delivery today. Jimmy John's, were fresh and fast meat. That's how you do it, Greg. We'll be back after the break. Zags up big.
Bush in 1987 down in San Antonio, Texas. Over 10,000 are enrolled there out of the Southland Conference. A hard-playing team.
Yeah, David Robinson got his master's there, Greg.
There you go.
David Robinson was at the PK 80, and his son plays for Duke. And he had some high praise to say for Marvin Bagley. Said he reminded him of a young Tim Duncan.
I think Bagley's pretty good.
30 and 15 twice.
And again, the Zag defense takes it away. Perkins left it for Melson.
Did you see it, Greg, just how quickly Gonzaga can change ends of the floor, and here another fast break opportunity.
Great save by Perkins. 20 on the shot clock, a lot of time. And a timeout called. Gonzaga, they're on a 23-2 run right now. And lead at 65-32. We'll take a timeout. 15-17 to play in Spokane.
Those coaches are going to tell you things you're going to remember the rest of your life, right? But here's a big one. You got to love yourself.
And that was the great Garth Brooks just a couple of weeks ago. Played a series of concerts in Spokane and came over here to Gonzaga for a camp, and Coach Few a part of it, a lot of the Zag players as well. Kind of an inspirational camp that Garth puts on, I think, wherever he goes and tours across the country. Cool to be here. He does a lot more than just sing great country western songs.
Man, I went opening night. It was the best concert I have ever been to. It was awesome.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't go. But best concert for me was Bruce Springsteen.
Jump hook from Jonathan with 3 on the shot clock drops. Bruce Springsteen, yeah, he's
great
good.
Concert,
yeah. And a bump and a foul called on Zach Norvell Jr. Zach picks up number 3. J3 out. Jakob Larson, and now Norvell following Williams out of the game. He's replaced by Jeremy Jones.
Jeremy Jones has given him some good minutes early this season. Not really much of a scorer, but he's been opportunistic on the break.
Yeah, I think opportunistic is a great word. He's, what, 8 of 9?
Yep.
You know, he knows when to look for his, but more importantly, I think it gives him a lot of versatility defensively.
And quick hands from Wade, the lob at the other end. Rui couldn't finish it. and back come the Cardinals. NA, as Jones went for the block in a spectacular way, but it's cleaned up and the Cardinals get 2 out of it. But boy, did we see some athletes on the floor in that push. Even Wade, that strip down here, quick hands, little lob at the other end. It was beautiful, Richard Fox.
Great plays on both ends of the floor. And you like to see this for UIW. They continue to compete down big, but Hart's continue to compete. The rest of their ball club is just outmatched tonight. They're going to have plenty of success throughout the year, but tonight just a tough task against GU.
Nelson to the post. Jakob, left-hand jump hook short. Rebound was by Sam Burmeister, and now the Cardinals on offense. Ten on the shot clock for Jalen Hart. NA working on Hachimura. And now Johnson from the corner is short for 3. And a great offensive rebound, but then the pass goes out of bounds from Devin Wyatt. It'll be Gonzaga ball. Eight turnovers now this half for the Cardinals. We haven't been 7 minutes in. Hachimura pulls his way in. Larson with the tip jam.
They went to double block to block on the baseline. Larson simply followed his man. Jumped at the front of the rim.
It's kind of sneaky explosive. You realize he's going to finish like that until he's up there. Wow.
Nice finish for Burmeister. Like that kid's got to earn some more playing time.
Should talk to the coach.
I will.
I said he should.
Yeah, really, Dad, what's up? Wade. Larson. Rui! And the foul!
Jacob Larson showing what you got excited about against Utah State early this season, the passing from the big man. Jesse Wade finds Larson on the low block, and then Larson returns the favor to Rui this time on the baseline cut. Good finish, chance for the three-point play.
That's what's impressive with Jakob is he keeps it up. Most young bigs really struggle with that idea, that concept as Rui knocks down the free throw. Already early in his career, he's got great fundamentals on those catches, either offensive rebounds or on the low block. Rarely does he bring the ball down below his chest.
Foul called there on Jones. Rui Hachimura now with 13 points. But gentlemen, all 10 Zags with an assist in this game.
The ball, just as Richard mentioned in that first half, it's not sticking. The ball is being moved. Quick decisions are being made. When you see something that's an opportunity for a teammate, you move it on.
72-36, 12-24 to play in Spokane.
Today we're going to talk about trucks.
Zags are explosive, and we've seen a lot of high-flying dunks already this year, but I don't know if we've seen one better than what we're going to see from Sean Johnson.
This is last year. Get up, big fella. And then afterwards, he hitches a ride here, a little piggyback. Not sure how I feel about the defender getting a good chuckle, but hey, it's all good fun.
Well, good sportsmanship there, too. He didn't throw him off his shoulders.
Yeah. Interesting.
Did you ever do that, Dan, in your day? Would you ever dunk and then ride somebody like that?
I had one dunk in a summer league game in my life. That's
you did?
I did. Portland Pro-Am.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Is there video?
No. Of course. So I can still claim it.
That looked pretty dangerous, man. That's why you got to stay on the floor. You know.
Foul called on Jalen Hart. That's number 2 on him. 6 this half against the Cardinals with 12:17 to play. Jalen Hart has played well for UIW. 14 points on 6 of 12.
And he's an important player for the Cardinals. Last year, second team all conference, and a poor game against Houston has really responded tonight.
Sox inside, can't score. Larson there to contest, and he clears the miss. And a whistle. And a foul away from the ball.
I believe on Johnson, Greg.
Or was it Keaton Harvey? It is Johnson. It was either 1-4 or 4.
You doubt me?
No, ever. Wow. You're way too mature to ever be doubted. And Rui at the free throw line, 13 points in this game. He's 2 of 2 from the line, 5 rebounds.
I think that's the area that we've seen a ton of growth. I mean, he's really struggled to start the year on the glass. In the last couple of games, he's now the 3rd leading rebounder on the team coming off the bench. And often it's, as he knocks down the second free throw, when you're playing on the perimeter, particularly at that small forward position, there's a lot of opportunity on the offensive glass because it's more difficult to find that guy when a shot goes up, block him out. I think Rui's figured that out a bit. He's doing an excellent job when he's at that 3-spot rebounding, particularly on the offensive end.
Johnson had a size advantage, but didn't use it. Burmeister's bumped and then kicks it out of bounds. Zag ball. That is 10 turnovers this half now for UIW. Norvell Jr. lines up the 3 and connects.
And that's where I think he can be really good for this ball club, is coming off of second side pick and rolls. Ball gets moved from one side to the other. Defense is late. He simply stops and pops behind that ball screen, knocks it down.
And he needs to continue to stay aggressive even when he's not knocking down the 3-point shot. He's really the guy off the bench who can give them 20 points. I mean, Ruiz did it against Texas, but Zach's got that makeup, a guy who can come in and really give you buckets from particularly behind the 3-point line. He needs to continue to shoot the ball.
Two shots coming for Jalen Hart. 14 points, 1 assist, no rebounds, and in and out there. His first miss. AP top 10. Gonzaga number 15.
You surprised that GU only jumped up 2 spots, Dan, after what they did in Portland?
I am. I think Florida is pretty darn good. I mean, to see them at 6 and see how they played, their guards are unbelievably good, skilled. Their bigs are athletic and long.
And they're missing one of their key players inside. But from where I was sitting on my couch, it looked to me like a Final Four caliber type team.
It was, without a doubt. That backcourt for Florida, I tell you what, Chris Chiozza is as quick a player as I've seen yet this season, getting from one end of the floor to the other. And then he just kind of pauses in the middle of the key and is just at his own pace making decisions. And
I know he's
the other wings that really got it done as well.
I know he's small, but boy, he looks to me like a pro. I mean, he just really understands how to play. Did you see that, or is he just?
He reminds me a lot of, as Burmeister knocks down the 3 from straight away, Ty Lawson from North Carolina a few years back.
That's a good comp, yeah.
Hachimura. Jones missing. And Hart pushes it for the Cardinals. And went right to the rim, missed the shot. Jones with the rebound. Ten minutes to play, second half. Larson wanting the ball inside. Simi Sox with 4 fouls. Allows Larson to back in and score.
Just going to concede that inside. Doesn't want to pick up his 5th. No double. Simple play for Larson.
Johnson will shoot it from the corner and connect it. Johnson with 8. Larson, great catch, and the finish with the left hand.
Well, Norvell disappointed he didn't get the assist, but Larson excited for a rebound and a putback bucket.
That was my favorite.
9:10 to play. 81-43. Gonzaga obviously dominating. 12 of 20 shooting this half. 2 of 4 from behind 3. 6 of 7 from the line. 5 assists on those 12 buckets. And here is your multi-care health system play of the game. Brought to you by Deaconess Hospital, Rockwood Clinic, and Valley Hospital. Now part of the multi-care health system. Better connected. And Larson giving it to Hachimura.
Oh, big-to-big connection, Greg. Really able to finish through the contacts.
The thing I like about that play is he wouldn't have made that instinctual cut along the baseline last season, or maybe even early this season in preseason practices. He's starting to understand spacing, how to move on the offensive end of the floor.
Yeah, I think obviously the ceiling very high for Rui Hachimura. But I want to see him on the defensive end create havoc. You know, he's got that length and that quickness and the ability to just get up on somebody and just take them out of the game.
You know, you saw a lot of those plays last year because he was gambling a ton. He often made some plays because he was out of position. I've been really impressed because he's been at the right spot on the weak side in particular more often than not. He's still making some mistakes. He's a young player, but he's really developed on the defensive end. And when he's at that 3 spot, you're watching a high major kid guard the perimeter. That's the kind of talent he has.
Well, because he's consistently in the right spots, he's starting to earn Coach Few's trust, which will allow him the ability to play through an occasional mistake.
Here's Sox. Mid-range jumper's good. Simi with 10.
Gonzaga goes zone that time, and UIW did a good job of pulling Larson out away from the basket. Sox knocking it down.
Sox working hard inside to try to deny Larson the ball.
Norvell Jr. scores it.
He's crafty going to the rim. We keep talking about his three-point shooting, as we should, given what he's already shown in his career and as a high school player. But he's got kind of that old man YMCA take to his game where he can find a way to get to the rim. He's not all that explosive, but still finds a way to finish over some length.
And a foul called on Jeremy Jones, number 22. Did they give that to Larson?
I believe
Jeremy Jones.
Yeah.
It was Jones, right? Well, Jeremy wasn't moving. That's his 5th. Jeremy just fouled out of the game.
So you only get 6, Dan, or 5, Dan.
Do you think they'll ever move it to 6?
I think they should.
I mean, honestly, in that Florida game, to see those players, the best players on the floor, fall out of the game, wasn't that a shame?
Yeah, I think there's a lot about
What's wrong with one more foul, especially when you go to overtime? Shouldn't you get an extra foul for the overtime?
I do like that idea. You extend the game into extra minutes, get an extra foul. That would be a nice addition to the rules. But Rui Hachimura with the knockdown 3.
And it's possible that they were awfully quick on that 5th foul for Jones. He may only have 4, so I don't think he's fouled out. The official stat machine here has him at 4. But now another foul coming against GU. And this one's against Jakob Larson. Rui Hachimura. He's got it all, ladies and gentlemen. And Gonzaga's up big. TX only at Numerica. And welcome back to Spokane. And now something that you may never ever see again in your entire lifetime. Wow. Halftime shots. This was the first contestant.
I've seen one.
The first of 3. The second one hit the front of the rim dead center. And then number 3 just did this. Boom. Bang. 2 out of 3.
But my question is did the guy who shot first get all the pop money, and then the number 3 doesn't get anything?
They both got, believe $900. No, they both got $900.
And the guy in the middle hit the front of the rim dead center.
Almost a trifecta. Wow. What's that called in horse racing? Parlay?
Trifecta? I don't.
Neither Greg or I gamble. So.
Yeah.
There's a term for that.
What do I look like, a jockey?
You're definitely not that.
Well, you looked at me like I should know. I don't know what.
I believe it is a parlay. Or also known as a good bet.
A daily double, isn't that the Wheel of Fortune?
So, Jack Peach at the top of the key. Here's Jesse Wade. Gets the ball screen from Jakob Larsson.
Oh, here's Wade. Jack Peach on the floor, number 2 with the ball right now for GU. As we get close to 7 minutes. 4 on the shot clock. Wade, his first look at it from deep is off. Larsson with the rebound, but he's called for the foul and he doesn't agree. So Jakob picks up number 3.
Checking back in for Gonzaga, Jeremy Jones.
Hachimura checks out of the game. Sox at the line with 11 points. Make it 12. 3 players in double figures for UIW. Hart, Sox, and Johnson. Norvell Jr. drives hard and scores. That's where he's so good, that big body, Dan.
Oh, he's just so shifty. Richard hit it on the head. He's not the most explosive of athletes, but what he does is a really good job of attacking angles and then using his shoulders and his hips to create advantage. And he's got such a soft touch.
He's going to average 40 in the men's league, I'm telling you. That game translates until you're like 45.
Norvell goes opposite the screen. Jones, the Beach, under 10 on the shot clock. Jones drives, went for the jam, falls hard, and the foul called. And the ball knocked loose from the perch.
How about this? Jones. You don't see that all that often, Jeremy, but we'd like to see him go to the rim with that kind of intention. So knocks down the first free throw.
Sean Johnson picking up his 4th personal. It's a 40-point lead for GU. You notice I waited till the math got really easy to say how many they led by.
Hey, that's a good sign from us. We're learning.
I can just tell you, Dan, that I went to a lot of games and didn't go to class when I was in college. That's all I'm going to say about it.
You're more of the student experience kind of guy?
Well, I was. It affected the math skills, but I was here. Or not here, but there. And Jack Beach on the floor for GU. Still on the floor. Players going at it with 5:39 to play.
That's a
and it's Zach Ball.
A lot of contact. I thought Sox got fouled there from behind as Norvell came in to get the ball. But great hustle from both groups. There you see from behind, Norvell comes in late. That's a foul, but GU gets the break and the ball.
Jones. Wade. He's got a great stroke.
He does. That's what he does. Came in with a reputation as a big-time shooter. Hasn't had the opportunities yet to show it this season.
Burmeister with Jones flying out at him. Buries the 3. Great composure over there out of number 15. You know what I love about the Zag team this year?
Tell us.
It seems like there are very few valleys. It just seems like the effort and the level of play is so steady from opening tip to the end of the game this year. Obviously, against Texas, they had things fell off there. There's one example, but it was also the third game of that.
Yeah.
But I just love the consistent effort that this team puts out.
His heart knocks down a little jump shot. I think you're spot on. The effort's there. This is a really, really unselfish group. Really no egos to speak of. And what they're going to have peaks and valleys with respect to making shots and that sort of thing. But what you like is they play the same way every night. They move the ball. They're unselfish, and defensively they've been consistent throughout the year.
Boy, after that catch by Larson, he's got to be rewarded with a whistle down there, I think. His shot hit at the other end. 93-57. Larson sets the screen. Great catch again. Got the defender in the air and then the left-handed flush.
I love the fact that Larson looks to dunk everything inside. So many bigs are looking to lay it up.
Reminds me of you.
Yep, exactly. Man, come on, Greg. You've been nice to me all night.
I think that is a nice statement. Here's Norvell in transition. And a chance for three.
But we've talked about it a few times. Again, creating the contact, shoulder into the chest with the finish. But we'll take another look. Jacob Larson with the left hand hammer. But as we go to break, Zach Norvell, I will take two. When we come back, I'll make it a three-point play. Zag's up big.
Washington, it's time now to announce tonight's player of the game, presented by A to Z Rental. Josh Perkins, a perfect evening for the redshirt junior. 16 points on 6 of 6 field goals. Perfect 4 for 4 from the three-point line. No job is too big or too small with 8 convenient locations. We rent everything. Let A to Z Rental be your most valuable player. Rick?
Thank you, Richard. There's Josh getting a breather. Zags up by 41. Christian Peavy right at Jones. Missed it. Norvell with the rebound. Zags look to run again.
I did some research. Parlay is not when you get all three.
A trifecta and a superfecta, I believe. What is parlay?
It's when you
the bucket by Jones, foul call.
Turn an initial stake or say winnings from a previous bet into another bet, hoping to increase the amount of money that you've won.
You haven't heard the term in sports like you parlay turnovers into points?
Where was this background when we were talking about it about 15 minutes ago?
I got lost in all the other minutia. Dan talking about seats empty and
just yelling at the Kennel Club. What's that about?
He was really upset.
Hey, when the Kennel Club brings it,
I've always said this is the house that Dan built.
This is the best student section when they bring it.
Built. He cares about the seats.
Yeah.
He should.
I'm blessed to be able to call games across the West Coast, and this is the best atmosphere by far, bar none. But when the students bring it, as they do on the biggest of games, it's not even close.
And the turnover. Wade now looking to run too. And free throws coming for Alex Martin, a redshirt sophomore out of Overland Park, Kansas. We're not in Kansas anymore, Alex. You're at the free throw line at the McCarthy Athletic Center. And first one drops.
Well, big game on Friday, fellas. Creighton coming to the Kennel, having a good start to the year. 5-1 on the season. Marcus Foster, the transfer from Kansas State, has been tremendous for Creighton the last year plus, averaging about 18 a game. Dan, G's going to have their hands full in the backcourt.
Good backcourt. Extremely tough and versatile front court as well. They're used to playing physical because of the Big East style.
And the foul called there As Jordan Kite, number 23, will go back to the free throw line here for UIW. And Corey Kispert back on the bench for GU. It is noticeable that his left shoe is off. So obviously he's not returning in this game.
Well, we haven't gotten an update as to what the issue is specifically, but we won't. But they've got a couple days here to get him right. They're going to need a solid effort from Corey to win the game on Friday. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, and Creighton, a true top 25 team.
Yes.
That travels well.
That's it. A mature ball club, some upperclassmen.
There's Martin. The three ball is short. Norvell, the offensive rebound. Jack Beach driving to the rim and out of bounds. No foul. Gonzaga ball.
Shoot the three, young man. I think the refs aren't going to call him many fouls to finish this game. As a young player getting a chance to get out there, you also got to understand that.
Jones did a great job to get the defender in the air and draw that foul. Foul on Augustine Eddy, number 12. Jones with 5 points in this game, 5 rebounds and assists as well. Remember, depth was a concern for this team coming into the season.
That's all we could talk about.
We're not worried anymore, are we?
No. But look, I mean, there were so many unknowns. You know, Rui was the 5th most minutes back at 128, and then Jones follows him up with about 86, 88 minutes played last year. So you knew you had some talent, but not a lot of proven commodities returning. But Corey Kispert has been much, as good as much hype was surrounding him coming to GU. Really didn't know he didn't play his senior year in high school. You know, you look at Rui, all the talent in the world, couldn't put together last year, break the rotation. Jones just struggled with injuries.
Alex Martin went up for that offense or that rebound a moment ago and came down and twisted, I believe, that left ankle. And he's being helped off right now. It was obvious when he did that. Norvell, Jones, Larson, Beach, and Wade on the floor. Under a minute to play now. Norvell, Wade battling, goes out of bounds. Gonzaga ball. 44.6 seconds to play. Here's Jones. And another whistle. This is foul number 13 against UIW this half. And Jeremy goes to the line, 3 of 5 to this point. 4 of 6. Dan Dickow has left the broadcast booth.
Said enough of us, apparently.
Moving in position, I'm assuming, for an interview of some sort.
Okay, I thought he was fed up.
Here's Hervey. Step back jumper is good. That's a 3. Hervey with 8. Keaton out of Cedar Park, Texas. Richard, he's a 6'7", 190-pound freshman.
He's had a nice stretch here. Kind of the second half, rather, as Beach misses the 3.
Kite from the corner is good. And Richard, no starter for GU, has played more than 21 minutes.
Which is what you would have wanted coming into tonight. You know, a lot of heavy minutes for the top of your rotation in Portland. You presume they're going to get a lot of minutes here on Friday, and next Tuesday, it's a good opportunity to get some rest.
106-68 the final. Gonzaga now 6-1 on this young season. But the next two games, actually it is 103-68 the final. They had the wrong score up there. So 103-68 the final. But Richard, these next two games are going to tell a lot about national rankings through the first half. These are huge games coming with Creighton and Villanova.
They really are.
You win them both and they're in the top 10, maybe for the rest of the year.
Absolutely. And just another tremendous opportunity for GU. Had a great opportunity in Portland, not only to get a good sense of where you are and where you need to improve, but also to build that resume.
We're going to take a timeout. We will have an interview with the Zag when we come back. 103-68 the final. Stay right there. We go to one great point guard who's about to interview another one, Dan Dickow, Josh Perkins. Take it away, Dano.
Hey, I appreciate it, fellas. We're here with Josh Perkins, obviously the player of the game tonight. Josh, 103-68 win. Can you miss right now coming back from the PK 80 to tonight? I mean, how does it feel?
I mean, it feels unreal. And to answer your question, I hope not. You know, as long as it keeps feeling good and goes in, I'm happy with it.
You guys had an unbelievable effort down in Portland at the PK 80. One game against Florida didn't quite go your way. You guys had a great job bouncing back against Texas. It would have been easy to overlook tonight's opponent in UIW and kind of have a complacent approach. What was Coach Few's message?
Kind of what you said. Let's stay at a high point and not let it go down. Let's not look over this team. Let's come and execute this scouting report. And at the end of the day, it's a game for us. So we got to work on some things, and we took our opportunity and got better today. So I'm glad with the performance we had.
It's going to be a much different atmosphere, a much different opponent on Friday. Creighton comes in here incredibly tested. They're a very veteran backcourt. What do you guys need to do to come out on Friday with the same energy, with the same execution, and come out on top with a victory?
I think we just need to keep doing what we're doing. You know, executing, moving the ball, and getting stops. You know, defensive end, we need to pick up on defensive end, take it tough for them. Like I said, take care of the ball and play for each other and play with each other, and I think we should be in good hands.
Well, Josh, you've started off the season incredibly well. Keep it going. Good luck on Friday night. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Josh. And I think, Richard, it was very clear when the season started that everybody was saying this team's going to go as far as Josh Perkins goes, and he's off to a tremendous start.
Well, yeah, what, 40, last 43-pointers attempted, 65%. I mean, you're not going to find a point guard shooting better in the country right now. He's really feeling well and feeling it on the offensive end. And not only that, but he's doing a decent job of getting his teammates involved, protecting the ball. I mean, you have to think about it. There's really nobody to back him up to handle those ball handling duties. So he's got to deal with all that pressure on top of searching out his offense. I think he's doing a fabulous job. And then also defensively, he's always competing.
Yeah, and kudos to Josh. Really worked on his conditioning in that offseason, knowing that the ball was going to be in his hands a lot.
Right.
He's going to have to play 36 minutes a game, maybe more, and he's living up to his billing. Top 50 player when he came here, the highest recruit at the time that Gonzaga had ever signed. So kudos to him.
Well, people forget as a high school junior, he averaged somewhere around 25 points a game in a really competitive league in Colorado. Then he goes to the prep school and kind of, in an odd way, changed this game and really focused on facilitating it. And then he's had a difficult career so far. You know, he expected to back up Kevin Pangos, breaks the jaw. Now he's out of here. Doesn't really get that mentorship, that tutelage from Kevin Pangos or Gary Bell. And then all of a sudden, Nigel comes in, and he's been used to playing the point guard. He's got to almost learn a whole different position. I think he's kind of settled in now to that point guard spot for this year and next.
And obviously a player that's just going to become more and more important to Gonzaga as this season continues on, is Rui Hachimura, as we welcome Dan Dickow back in. And Dan, he's really coming into his own these last 3 or 4 games.
A bright spot for Gonzaga. Spark off the bench now, 2 games in a row. Career high 20 against Texas, and another very, very effective game with 18 points this evening. But the thing I like about him is he's playing more instinctual this year than he ever did last season. It's been very good to see.
Creighton's going to come in here and really test Gonzaga because they travel well, they're a veteran team, and they know how to win. They play a lot of tough contested games in their conference. What does Gonzaga got to do to win?
Well, I think Josh Perkins hit it right on the head. Be themselves. They've shown now through the early part of the season that if they are themselves, they're a darn good basketball team. And it starts on the defensive end, and then it gets out and just sharing the ball, moving the ball, and executing offensively. I think if they do that, I think they're going to be fine. Yes, if they're going to be tested physically, that they haven't been tested at home yet, but they saw that at the PK 80.
Right.
So I think that tournament was a perfect precursor to get them ready for this game as well as Villanova.
And Richard, they go and play Villanova. A lot of people are talking about that team in the Final Four. They're going to be close to their hometown, right? I mean, it's going to be a different atmosphere for Villanova than Gonzaga. That would be as good a win as we've seen in a long time for GU to go there and win.
Yeah, I mean, to win essentially a road game and to beat a top 10 team in Villanova is a handful. Think about it, tremendous guard play. And they, oddly enough, they play kind of, GU rather, playing kind of a similar style of Villanova, really moving the ball on the perimeter, up and down. They've got good length inside, maybe not great size. It's going to be a game with a lot of great athletes on the floor.
Can't wait for either one of those. This week is going to be so interesting in Sackville. Win or lose, the season continues. The progress grows. Gonzaga with another win, 103-68 against UIW. For Dan Dickow, Richard Fox, the rest of our crew, I'm Greg Heister. Good night from the McCarthy Athletic Center. The Zags now 6-1.
My favorite show moment was when